Jamie and I would like to begin by telling a story of an experience that I had several years ago that is relevant to family constellations. I got to speak higher, louder, louder. Okay. So I need somebody to adjust the volume. I'll just tell me if I'm not speaking loud enough. So I'd like to start with a story. Several years ago, I attended a sweat lodge ceremony. And it was facilitated by a husband and wife team in their sweat lodge ceremony. And one of the things that they said at the beginning of the ceremony was, our way is not better than other people's. Our way is not worse than other people's. Our way is just the way that we have learned from our teachers and incorporated what we have learned over doing this work, and we're here to share it with you. I walked away from that thinking, what a wonderful thing. And what they were doing, without even knowing it, was inviting us to go to the level of soul. That level of non-judgment, that level of open-heartedness, that level of inquiry. And I invite all of us as we go into not just our presentation this morning, but also into this weekend to hold that level of open-heartedness, of open inquiry, of non-judgment. Jamie and I work together, but as all couples, we work differently. And I hope that you'll get the experience both today and those of you who join us tomorrow to see how we work differently, but differently together. And it's what happened when we were in that sweat lodge with that couple. They work together, but they work differently. And that's some of the beauty of this work, that all of us work together to facilitate family constellations. All of us work together to bring family constellations out into the world, but we all work differently. You know, in Bert Hellinger's words, everyone's included. So we go into this conference, we go into this presentation with that invitation that everyone here is included, and everyone does it a little differently. The other thing that's really important that came from that experience of the sweat lodge and how it relates to family constellations is that we're all part of a larger community that's trying to help humanity. We're all here, I believe, because we're trying to move something forward to contribute to a larger collective healing. And as Bert said, we have to suspend moral judgment. Like any family constellation, as facilitators, we come from that premise from the very beginning of suspending any idea of right or wrong, good or bad, of judgment, of moral authority. That way we can get to the level of soul. The only way, really, to get to the level of soul consciousness or meeting the soul of another person, particularly in our family lineage, is if we can enter into the field of consciousness from non-judgment. Now, we all know when we work with clients, and certainly when I've done my own personal work in constellations, judgment, resistance, were just walls upon walls that I had to work through. But as the facilitator, and the facilitators that we worked with, would hold that space of open inquiry, of non-judgment, of coming from the space of suspending any judgment. So I invite all of us to move forward into this weekend from that place. So just take a moment and see if you can just release any preconceived ideas of right or wrong, good or bad, your way versus my way versus another person's way. Just begin to let it go.